All right, so again, we have the national championship game between Boston College and Maryland. Maryland was the #1 seed going into the tournament, BC, the 2 seed. Both teams with over 20 wins on the season, which is incredible, only one loss. So this is a great one. So let's get the opening draw going. All right, I'm gonna let it play. So we got Samia Puzo, who actually takes the draw for BC. She's from Long Island. She's a Babylon girl. And she goes from taking the draw to playing attack, which is pretty cool. All right, so this is a subtle nuance, but I really want you girls to see this because I think it's super important. All right, this girl who takes, let me try to go backwards. Hold on one sec. So I want everyone to watch what this midfielder in the middle of the field does after she kind of receives a pass from her teammate under pressure. So ball's here, moves the ball here. Notice she threw a little pump fake. She got this girl to jump up in the air, and that created all this space for her to run into and get away from pressure. So that's a really subtle thing that is something you can work on your own. So if you're doing wall ball on your own, you could just, every time you catch the ball, work on a pump fake, right? Every time you're having a catch, before you throw back to your partner, throw a pump fake in there. Notice how the Maryland girls are always using those pump fakes to show that they're attacking and they're going to be a threat. All right, can't have your stick go through the crease, so they called a violation there. All right, so BC getting their first possession of the game, especially when you're playing in like a championship game where there's some butterflies and a little pressure and you're nervous. It's a good idea to get all your teammates involved, get everyone a touch, right? Don't just hold the ball, get everyone a touch so that way they get those nerves out. Even games that aren't that pressure packed, it's good to get everyone a touch when you first get the ball going. All right, so check this out here. All right, there are about 1, 2, 3. There are 4 offensive players in BC on this weak side over here. All right, so there's really no one on this strong side that's in a position to help this girl if she gets doubled. So this is a great time to double team. All right, one thing I want you to notice here in this double team, with all the great things that Maryland does here, they end up throwing a check in her, kind of like towards this attacking player's head, which in my opinion is unnecessary. I think when you have such great positioning and you're swarming the ball like this, there's really no need to throw a check. Just let that girl, drop the ball, make it a contested ground ball or throw it away. Nonetheless, that's a fantastic double team. And they just swung their stick, which is a little subtle thing, but now BC has an advantage when that could have been an easy turnover, right? So here's it in slow motion, right? They called a push. All right, so either way, don't extend your arms and don't swing your stick in that position. I love watching ESPN games, girls, because you can see percentages and stats. Notice Maryland's free position percentage. So they're second in the NCAA at a 53% clip, which means if they take 100 free positions on the season, their team, they've scored over 50 times, over 50 goals on those 100 free positions. All right, so if you want to know what's a good marker, I think your numbers should actually be higher. So if you want to think individually where you should be in the season, let's say you take 5 of them in a season, I actually think you should be higher than this because it's more difficult to score at the college level, just because goalies are a little bit better and there's better athletes on defense, etc. So I would try to shoot at the least for over 50%, but if not, maybe even 60 or 70. Kind of like a free throw in basketball, you want to try to mirror your free position percentage to that. All right, great job in transition here. We talked about this last week, girls, with the Stony Brook film. In transition, the best teams not only let the ball work up the field and not let them run up the field, but when it's time to start moving with the ball on your stick, they don't just throw the ball. They wait till someone has come to them, right? And when I say someone coming to them, I don't mean that this girl with the ball is going to wait till someone comes and makes contact. She's going to wait till someone has fully committed to her, right? At this point, this girl in maroon on BC has fully committed to the ball. Even though she hasn't made contact, there's no way she's going to go from playing the ball to now getting back to the girl she was just guarding, right? So understand the difference between throwing the ball while someone has already made contact with you and throwing the ball when someone has committed to you, right? Draw, move it, and now they get a ridiculous shot on goal. You know, that takes a lot of practice, girls, being able to shoot sidearm off of a goalie's hip. I think with the technology and what's going on in the girls' game, it's a lot more common to see a player be able to drop her hands like this and get a shot off because the ball and the pockets are so good. But this being able to release the ball from down here takes a lot of practice. Shooting the ball between two girls in a 5-yard space takes a lot of practice. So this is not something I would try in a game. This is something I would practice on your own days upon days on end. And then once you start getting good at it, then you can do it in these types of situations, right? She's loaded up. She's pointing her front toe at the target. She's also going to use her bottom hand to pull through her shot. This is something that Kylie has taught a lot of our younger players at the scoring academy that she does. All right. So you use your bottom hand to kind of dictate where you want the ball to go. And then it's a nice snap of the wrist. Right off the goalie's hip. All right, check this thing out. That ball is right here. It's about to go off the goalie's hip. Look how small that space is. When you get to the point where you're playing for a team like Maryland, aiming for a spot that's like 1 yard by 1 yard is actually realistic, right? That's an incredible placement. All right. I know it's a really small area, but at the end of the day, if she misses, most likely it's going to be a rebound. It's going to come off the goalie and deflect into the front of the goal, or she misses, right? And then you back the ball up. That's not the worst. Where you don't want to shoot, girls, is right to this goalie stick, all right? Right near her ear, right near her stick. You also want to avoid shooting right to her feet, okay? I love shooting off hip, and I love bouncing the ball like right on the top of the crease line right here, all right? Those are good spots to shoot from. So awesome goal. Yeah, the commentator said she had 4 inches. She's not kidding. This is one of the best coaches ever. 6 championship game appearance in 7 seasons. That's absurd. All right, let's fast forward a little bit here. All right, here's the next draw. I'm going to talk about this later, but great camera angle to see the positioning, all right, of stance and where a girl should be when you take the draw. Top hand right at the top of the plastic, bottom hand at the butt end, okay? All right, notice elbows bent knees, athletic position, all right? Once the ref gets in the proper position, notice both girls key in on the referee so they know when the whistle is going to happen, all right? And usually, I mean, there's different moves you can do at the draw, but a common one is pushing up to the sky, all right, or up to where you want the ball to go with your top hand and pulling. This is like a pulling motion, all right, with your bottom hand, like you're going to pull like a horn on a truck or something like that. All right, so I want everyone to watch this right now. Team defense, all right? BC is, for the most part, nowhere to be found because they're getting subs on and off the field, and they're getting more offensive-oriented players on the field. Look at their defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All 7 players are standing right outside the 8-meter, ready to mark up a player. And look, they're communicating. They're all talking to each other. They're saying, I got here, I got here, I got number 6, I got number 13. The goalie's in a ready position. This is a great example of why Maryland's so good defensively, is because they communicate and they're always ready, and they play with pace. They don't just like hang back on their heels and wait till them to come. So they're going to be ready as soon as BC is ready, which is really what you want on defense. Great attacker to key in on. Kenzie Kent. All right, notice how Sammy Apuzzo right here does a great job. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Okay. Sammy draws a lot of attention because of her ability to dodge. But as soon as this player slides, all right, or comes across the field here, all right, she's sliding to help. That's what she's doing. All right. Sammy moves the ball because this cutter is going to go. That defender is going to stay with her. And that creates a 1-2 on 1 on the backside. All right. So as soon as this girl comes across the field, Sammy does not hold on to the ball. She moves it. All right. And now check it out. She moves the ball. And look, you got a 2-on-1. So you got 1-2, and you got one defensive player. That's a really good place to be offensively. All right. That's how you get good looks, maybe draw shooting space and create offense. All right, tough look inside. I'm going to talk about feeding from up top. Not a great option unless someone's really, really open and they have a shot to quickly catch, turn, throw a fake, and score. But great job riding. Notice how they don't really throw stick checks in the ride. They just play good positioning. They turn girls back, right? I don't love that right there. She tried to take the ball away, and then that girl was able to easily advance it up the field. Try not to throw stick checks in the ride. Your goal is to turn the team back and get them to redirect the ball from one side of the field to the other and get your sticks in passing lanes. Look at this defense. Look at her making contact all the way outside the 12, right? That's great defense. That girl number 5 wants nothing to do with the ball. Oh, that's a hard shot. That's a great midfielder to watch. Grace Griffin, number 22. It's good defense by BC, right? They're covering up on cutters. Their sticks are in the passing lanes, right? Right. Sometimes you got to run with the ball, right? And then as soon as someone draws, you move it. All right, here's an example of transition offense. You got to know your numbers. It's a numbers game, transition. All right, you got to know how many offensive players there are. You got to know how many defensive players are. Right now, it's an even situation. So in this case, you don't draw and dump. You dodge or you move it, right? And in this case, it looks like Kenzie Kent's looking to attack. That's not a bad take. It was a 4-on-4. She had space, got a good shot off. That's a good take right there. This girl also plays hockey for BC. So anyone that's watching, if you're curious if you should play multiple sports, you have girls at the highest level doing it. So all right, so here's an example, girls. The ball's top center with Sammy Apuzzo. And this is called a mirage pass, throwing the ball into the crease from top down. All right, the reason this is a mirage pass, this girl, she looks wide open for the time being, and she's about to release the ball. But literally within probably, I would say, half a second, she's not going to be open anymore. And that, while it looks like it's there and it's not, which is why we call it that mirage pass, it's also not a great option to throw it inside, because even if she does catch it, her back's to the goal, and it's very hard to turn and get a shot off. For the defense, it's very easy to collapse onto her. So this girl 5 can collapse down. This girl can come in and help, right? There's a lot of pressure in that middle part. I prefer to throw the ball inside from below goal line extended, so that way the girl that catches it is facing the goal and she can make something happen. So let's see what happens here when Sammy jams it inside. Yep, gets knocked down. And then here comes Maryland. Oh, they get the ball back. That's a good ground ball. So again, be careful on that mirage pass. I know it's tempting, but a lot of times it's not actually there. Great job moving the ball off the ground on that ground ball. One thing, girls, I want you to start looking at this little number down here is a shot clock. So as soon as your team gets possession of the ball, whether it be on the defensive end or offensive end or middle of the field, you have 90 seconds. All right, you have 90 seconds to try to get a shot on goal. Right there, that girl just hit the pipe. All right, and because she hit the pipe, the shot clock resets. So now it went from, let's say, being at 30 seconds to going back to 90. All right, very similar. It's a same concept in basketball, just different. You have more time in lacrosse to get your shot off. That's a new feature in the girls' game. All right, BC being patient, really good spacing, working the ball around. That was a good look. Let's watch. I love watching off-ball play, girls, especially for if any of us are like middies or attackers. Defensively, it's so much harder to guard someone who's really quick off ball and moves deliberately. So let's watch this girl, number 4, Kenzie Kent. Let's key in on her. All right, Sammy Apuzzo has the ball. She's driving and looks like she's a threat to attack the goal. All right, but let's key in on number 4 and watch what she does. Right, she goes into the crease like she's not even involved in the play, and then quickly slips to that back pipe for a great look. All right, that's scripted. That's not something that she just decided to do. She practiced that. I guarantee it. Her and Sammy Apuzzo in practice. They probably do it on their own for fun. That's a really nice little off-ball cut that resulted in a good shot. Good save by the goalie. Getting those saves early in the game can create a lot of momentum, which helps. All right, Maryland being patient in their clear. Again, there's a shot clock. Even though there's a shot clock, they're not rushing, right? They're patient. They're not, just throwing the ball for the sake of throwing it. All right. However, and I talked about this earlier, girls, when you're riding the ball back, especially when you get to the point in college when you play with a shot clock, if you're less concerned about taking the ball away and more concerned about making it as hard as possible on this team to advance the ball up the field, they're going to get to a point that when by the time they get it into their offensive end, there's only going to be 30 or 40 seconds to get a good shot off, right? And that puts more pressure on the offense. It makes it a lot more stressful for them to get a shot on goal. It makes it stressful to create offensive situations that they're looking for. So again, riding, think about slowing them down. Don't think about taking the ball away. Good on-ball defense. All right, let's talk about this one here. I don't love this shot. Here's why, okay? I talk about this sometimes, shooting off your back foot. All right, even though, all right, this player is really close to the goal. She's in actually a nice, she's a threat right now. All right, that was a great job throwing back to the picker, right? That was a little pick slip action like we worked on in box. But when she shoots this ball, she's shooting off her back foot. So this, really athletic midfielder who probably shoots the ball 85 miles an hour, all right, can only shoot the ball 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour because she's shooting off her back foot. All right, and now it's just an easy knockdown and an easy clear for BC. So be careful. Even though you're in a threatening position, sometimes girls, you just want to throw a pump fake and either escape pressure, throw a pump fake, try to run around the defender and get your body weight moving towards the goal. Right? I know sometimes you get really anxious and eager when you get near and around the goal and you get a feed, but it doesn't always mean you have to shoot it. All right, BC getting set up again. Maryland ready to go. They're communicating. All right, Maryland is in a position to match up, mark up. A little choppy. All right, you're going to see a little stutter step here. That's a great goal. They're going to show the replay as they show that replay, girls. I just want you to listen to, the fact that this is something you can do in your backyard, which I love, right? This goal right here is just a great individual effort. Okay. She worked on this, I'm sure, a million times, right? Here you go. Number 26, right? This girl does a great job getting through to create space. Again, off ball, move off ball, create space for the dodger, make yourself a threat. This girl's a threat by cutting back door here, because if her girl slides, she's going to turn and be right in front of the goal, right? But at the end of the day, this dodger, okay, just does a great job winning her matchup. All right. And that all starts by doing stuff in your backyard and just working on these moves on your own and shooting on a goal. I recently posted with Coach Karen a video of a stutter step. There's a lot of drills, if you follow our Instagram at FLG Lax, that I post that work on skills like this. Here you have a girl in the national championship game doing something that you can simply do in your own backyard. Okay. So let's watch her do this. Takes a hard step with her left foot, keeps it in her outside hand, gets downhill and scores. Okay. Notice how she kind of like slows up and starts chopping her feet before she gets to the defender. That allows her to really explode out of her dodge. Another great young coach here. A couple more clips here. We got less than 10 minutes. All right, we talked about this earlier. Again, check this out. We got top hand, right? That's going to be your push hand. That's what's pushing up to the sky or to wherever you want the ball to go. You got your bottom hand right towards that butt end. That's your pull hand, right? That's where that power is going to come from, right? That's why you want to work those arm muscles so you can get good at movements like this. Okay. Notice the eyes. Okay. You got both players' eyes staring at the official, waiting to see that whistle blow. All right. So those are 3 keys, right? That triangle of keys between your hands and your eyes is what you should kind of focus on here if you take some draws. All right, so next up here, we're going to have a pretty sick goal that I think is worth talking about. So watch Kenzie Kent, this lefty over here. She's got tons of space to dodge. So we're going to watch a replay of this, and then I'm going to show you actually this move being drilled in an Instagram video that I'm going to post later today. Again, you can work it on in your backyard. All right, now Kenzie Kent, she's 5'6", right? She's relatively small compared to some of the players that she might go up against. All right, but she's so quick and has such good footwork, and her stick protection and her skills are so great that it allows her to just be so effective around the crease. All right, so this is an inside roll, all right? And even though a lot of times you think an inside roll should happen like right around here and here, you can actually do them further away from the crease, right? Also, she does a great job after she inside rolls and beats her girl, protecting her stick and throwing a fake just to move the goalie. All right, let's see if we can watch this again. I don't know if they played again. We'll watch it. All right, awesome. So let's check this out, right? So she beats her girl. Her stick's protected. It's right next to her shoulder. And she beats her so clean that she has time to throw one fake, all right? And that gets the goalie to crouch. And now she's got the whole top of the cage to shoot at, all right? So bang, just like that. And then she finishes. Now, again, I talked about how you can work on this in your backyard. If you're not quite sure how to break it down, all right, you should turn to social media and the drills that I post up to check this out. So here's an example of a girl working on that same inside roll move. Now, before she gets to the move, she kind of works on a couple other footwork variations, which I think are really great, just so you can kind of work on building up strength in your legs, building up balance when you dodge, working on doing different things such as switching hands, etc. So watch this girl execute the same move that Kenzie just moved, right? Changes hands, right, after she comes out of her move and gets a shot off. Watch that a couple times, right? Also, when she comes out of her roll, she's attacking the goal, right? So when she turns her hips around, she's downhill attacking the goal. She's not moving towards the camera, right? When you come out of your inside roll, you don't want to move towards the camera. You want to move towards the goal, right? So that's a really nice example. I'll post that later today, but cool. That's Kenzie Kent right there. Yeah, as you can hear. All right, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I have about 3 more clips I want to show everyone. Look at this. This is great help on defense. All right, this girl is going to leave the person that she's guarding to go double team the ball real quick. That's actually kind of a nice time to do that because her girl is not really a threat. All right, she's hanging outside the 8. She's got a low angle, and now this girl rolls away and wants nothing to do with the goal. That was great help defense. Yep. So we're going to fast forward a little bit here and watch another sick goal. So, all right, that's called the rocker step. We'll watch that again. They're going to put it in replay, but as they do, this is, again, a move you can work on in your backyard. I recently posted a video with Coach Karen of her working on a rocker step in just a different area of the field. I want to break down why this is such a great move individually to work on as a midi or as an attacker in the offensive end. Okay, and a reason it's a great move is it gets the defender off balance and out of position. All right, so check this out. This defender right now is actually in really, really good positioning. She's got stick on stick. She's between the person that she's guarding and the goal. All right, she's actually doing a good job. She's about to turn her back to her right hand, and she's actually a lefty. So I think that's a really smart move, even though it's the middle of the field, kind of roll her back to her weak hand. All right, but because she does this little rocker, okay, which basically makes it seem as though she's going to roll and switch back to her right hand here. Look what this defender does. She goes from having her stick and her body in a great position, all right, even though her bottom hand should be a little bit lower, okay, to bringing her stick over here, okay? And now that frees up this lefty to kind of move into this space and get a shot off right to that low corner and score a pretty sick goal. Again, look, defender's stick now goes on the opposite side because she thinks that she's going to roll back to the middle. All right, and that frees her up to get back to where she wanted to go, right to her strong hand. And the placement of that shot right down here. All right, that's a great goal. All right, let's see how much time I got here. All right, we got 3 minutes. We got time for like 2 more clips. Let's skip forward here. Whoops. All right, so Maryland just lost the draw because I think it was a false start or something like that. But they do a great job before the whistle's even blown. All right, this is what you can start doing now. Before the whistle's blown, you can get into better positioning. Maryland, all their attackers, they drop right below this 50-yard line onto their defensive end to make it harder for BC to advance the ball up the field. I think that's awesome thing for our attackers to watch because now look, you have all these white jerseys and now she has to go back with the ball as opposed to pushing it. Like they're just making it harder for them to advance the ball. Again, taking time off this clock. That's how you want to start thinking about the riding game. Take time off the clock. All right. Show one more clip here that I think goes. All right, this is good defense actually. I just kind of want to talk about this little move offensively. This is a box lacrosse move. So we've done this a little bit in the box rinks. Something you can work on in your backyard at home if you have a goal, or you can even shoot on a mini net, whatever you got. All right, so Kaylee, look, this is like not a great angle. Okay, so good defense. This girl is keeping her outside the 8 meter. I love that. She's on her hip. She's got great positioning. Like, this is awesome, awesome defense. And this girl is just running at an angle. She's a righty too. Like, as she continues to go, look, she still has a terrible angle, right? Like right now, I would never think about shooting this ball. But one thing she does is she takes the head of her stick and brings it to her left shoulder and releases the ball from here, which actually gives you a pretty nice angle, as opposed to shooting from here, which gives you a virtually impossible angle to score a goal. All right, that's called a twister. And you bring that stick without switching hands to your inside shoulder and you release the ball. The reason that's a good play too is because look where this defender is positioned. The head of her stick is on her back. So if you bring your stick from here to here, she's not going to be able to check that away from you. So it actually is a really slick move. And then she sneaks it in there. That's a good angle. All right, so that's a twister. That's something you can work on too. All right, so all right, that's it for today. So I appreciate our couple girls that came on here, and again, I recorded this. I'll throw it up on YouTube. You can always watch later, and just keep again. That I gave, I think, about 3 or 4 things that we can work on, even though we're not at practice right now.